Ladies and gentlemen, Raider Nation, we got exactly what we wanted. We wanted to see the rookie quarterback, Aidan O'Connell, fill in for the injured Jimmy Garoppolo and the perfectly healthy Brian Hoyer. And it went as well as you would expect. It ended in Khalil Mack, the former Raider, well, roasting the Raiders quarterback situation.
Four held it. Unlike the other four that used to be there, but
there were moments when there was hope, when they were in these games, but like Davante Adams says, it's frustrating they don't finish them. And Josh McDaniels is leading a Raiders offense that has not scored 20 points in one game, and it looks significantly worse in years past, but apparently it's everybody else's fault but Josh McDaniels. No! Raider Nation in LA against the Chargers. We're gonna break it down. Like and subscribe for more Raiders content. Raider Nation was stoked when they found out Aidan O'Connell was going to be starting, and it started out hot. It really seemed like the Raiders found their guy. He's wearing number 4. Derek Carr wore number 4. Maybe he's gonna be the new franchise quarterback, and Josh McDaniels will save his job and turn out to be a great coach after all, and not a huge disappointment. And it seemed like it was possible. Aidan O'Connell had a QB sneak for a touchdown. His first touchdown in the NFL was a QB sneak. Michael Vick, anybody, huh? And everybody loved Aidan O'Connell. The Raiders defense made it stop, and maybe the Raiders are gonna upset the Chargers in LA. But then the rest of the game happened. Aidan O'Connell ended up looking like a 4th round rookie quarterback in his first start. No pocket awareness in this game. Threw tons of incompletions, tons of passes into triple coverage at times. And honestly, I'm surprised the guy did not have multiple interceptions. He got lucky, but the big blunder and the big tipping point in this game was early on in the first half. Back-to-back fumbles by Aidan O'Connell. He had one fumble, and then the Chargers ended up scoring on that drive, and then he had another fumble. Once he had another opportunity, he was frustrated as hell, because why wouldn't you be? Josh McDaniels was pissed at him, the young rookie. That kind of sucks as a rookie quarterback that your first experience is working with McDaniels, right? But at the same time, it was hard to blame Genius Josh for the first half because Aidan O'Connell was making so many mistakes. And I felt like, yes, the offensive line wasn't perfect. Khalil Mack was whooping their ass, of course. But in my opinion, it seemed like O'Connell did not do himself too many favors, did not step up into the pocket that much. And it seemed like sometimes he did hold on to the football too long. And for the first time in my life, and a lot of people were feeling like this, especially when the score was so lopsided, 24-7 at one point. And I never thought I would ever say this, but at a certain moment, I was like, look, dude, we might have to put Brian Hoyer in and see what we got. Like we said before, the defense got a stop on Herbert, but there were some BS calls in this game, mainly an unnecessary roughness call. Yes, it should have been called when Jerry Tillery hit Justin Herbert as he was on the way out of bounds, pretty much out of bounds, but he got ejected from this game. And I thought that was just so ridiculous to see Jerry Tillery, the defensive tackle of the Raiders, who's a former Charger, by the way, get ejected from this game just for a late hit on Herbert. And it wasn't a horrible hit. I've seen tons of quarterbacks take way crazier hits than that late, and they did not get that player ejected. They should have given Jerry Tillery a warning, but instead they ejected a starting defensive tackle of the Raiders from this game, and I thought that was complete BS because it was his first unnecessary roughness call, and later in the game, the Chargers actually had an unnecessary roughness call against them because you had Samuel freaking slam Hunter Renfrow and a couple other Chargers players. They threw the flag for unnecessary roughness, but no ejection, only a little ejection to protect Justin Herbert, and Justin Herbert took advantage of this throughout the game. Justin Herbert was able to extend plays because of this. You got players reluctant to tackle the guy because you're going to get freaking kicked out of the game if you do. And there was a moment when Justin Herbert got a rushing touchdown. He extended to pass the plane, and it did not look like he passed the plane at all. You saw multiple angles, and Justin Herbert looked like he did not score. Remember, all scoring plays are reviewed by the booth, by the referees. You can't really challenge for that. I felt like Josh McDaniels should have called a timeout, made the referees look at this play, because that could have been a stop for the Raiders there. And in the end, I'm not going to say it was a disappointing day for the Raiders defense. Yes, you lost the game, but they held Justin Herbert to 167 passing yards. And Trayvon Merrick ended up getting a pick on Justin Herbert that really put the Raiders in a position to come back in this game. And Trayvon Merrick could have had another pick. He had a drop pick in the end zone. It just showed that the Raiders defense was in position to make play. And if it wasn't for the 2 fumbles by Aidan O'Connell that gave the Chargers great field position, I think that the Raiders would have had an amazing day on defense. That sort of set them up for failure for the Chargers to get some easy scores. And keep in mind, there was a critical situation when it was 4th and short. Justin Herbert tried to run a QB sneak again, and the Raiders stopped him. The Raiders stopped him on 4th down, forced a turnover on downs in addition to that pick by Merrick. So you saw Max Crosby and some defensive players pissed about the situation, but I think overall they helped the Raiders stay in this game against the Chargers offense that's supposed to be pretty good, even though they are missing some pieces. And it really sucked to see Davante Adams get shaken up in this game. He was hurt, and according to reporter Bridget Condon, Davante Adams said that he was in pain, and it definitely doesn't feel good right now. As of right now, Davante Adams is in pain, and he actually didn't know if he was going to come back in the game, but he knew he had to tough it out, and he knew he had to nut up. So Davante Adams showed some big time nut game staying in this game. Josh Jacobs led the team in targets for 81 yards and also had a decent day rushing the football, a touchdown, 58 yards. Still haven't seen him pop and have one of those amazing 100-yard games, but I thought he was one of the more productive players on the field on offense, especially with the shaking up Davante Adams. And I thought this was unfortunate because I thought a lot of Raiders players played tough. I thought they had a real opportunity to come back and tie the game towards the end. And the defense really kept the Raiders in this game all the way till late in the 4th quarter. Aidan O'Connell was driving down the field with the Raiders offense, and it seemed like they were about to score. They were encroaching, they were moving down the field, connecting with Davante Adams on out routes. And at the very end, when they're close to the goal line, knocking at the door of the LA Chargers, about to score after a big play, Josh McDaniels, even though the Raiders should probably run the football because there's like 2:30 left on the clock, you don't want the Chargers to have too much time after you tie the game because then they can go and get a field goal. McDaniels continues to throw the football. He thought Aidan O'Connell was hot. He was having a good drive. He decided to throw the football, and it ended in an interception. And ultimately, the Raiders were lucky to even be in this game. Aidan O'Connell was sacked 7 times. Josh McDaniels said they tried to address Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack had freaking 6 sacks on the day, and apparently there was just no answer for Khalil Mack no matter what they tried to do. And then when it came to evaluating the young quarterback, a lot of people were upset about Josh McDaniels' comments after the games. It's the rookie's first start. And when evaluating the guy, rather than pump Aidan O'Connell up, he started sort of addressing a lot of the problems Aidan O'Connell had in that game, holding on to the ball too long, accuracy, and decision making. And to me, it's just like, dude, what do you expect? He's a rookie, 4th round pick guy. He hasn't even been the number 2 quarterback on the depth chart for the past few games. And look, it was a tough task for Aidan O'Connell anyways. It would have been heroic for him to really pull this off. And I do think it's unfair for Josh McDaniels to point the finger even a little bit at Aidan O'Connell because, like I said, it's a tough task. But at the same time, this guy, in my opinion, did not look like the guy we saw in preseason. And even though Jimmy Garoppolo going into this game was leading the NFL in interceptions, I do still think that if they would have had him, he would have given the Raiders a little better chance to win this game. But at the same time, what do we keep seeing? Jimmy Garoppolo's first 3 games with Josh McDaniels, not too good. 709 yards, 5 TDs, 6 picks. And Derek Carr's first 3 games with McDaniels in 2022, 850 yards, 6 TDs, 4 picks, but a 60% completion percentage. It seems like no matter who's the quarterback, it doesn't end in happiness for the Raiders with Josh McDaniels at the helm. And Davante Adams after the game talking, saying, I don't know what to say. We have to play better. We have a pretty talented roster. Now, I don't know if this means that we have a talented roster, we just need to execute better, or we have a talented roster and the coaches maybe need to put us in a better position to win. I don't know what he means by this. You tell me. And the cherry on top was Khalil Mack roasting the Raiders quarterback situation after the game in his own sly way.
Four held it, unlike the other 4 that used to be there, but he held it a little bit for us today, and we were able to get there a little bit.
He talked about it being a tough game and said number 4, meaning Aidan O'Connell, unlike the previous number 4 who used to be there, meaning Derek Carr, well, he helped us out in the end, meaning the interception that sealed the game. Khalil Mack throwing some shade on the Raiders quarterback situation. We know he's always been friends with Carr even after leaving the Raiders to the Bears. And there were still some shady moments for the defense. I felt like they bailed Herbert out. Yes, Herbert's talented. He's a good quarterback. But Nate Hobbs was talking about this on Instagrams, and this is when the Raiders still had a shot. Jacorian Bennett one-on-one, and this actually really ended the game. Had this been an incompletion, the Raiders would have had the football back with less than 2 minutes to go. And Nate Hobbs is saying we got to stop with this no-call shit. The push-offs is blatant, and it was a blatant push-off on Jacorian Bennett to seal the deal for the Chargers. But honestly, the offense could not keep up. I thought the defense did their job in this game. And Josh McDaniels, it seems like he could conveniently use rookie quarterback Aidan O'Connell as an excuse, and I felt like he used him as an excuse in the press conference after the game, and a lot of other people feel this way. The problem is the execution. The problem is the execution for McDaniels. It's not him. And on some level, that's true. I thought Aidan O'Connell did not look great. I thought he made some bad decisions. I thought he held onto the football too long, and I did think he was inaccurate, and I don't think the guy has good pocket awareness as of right now. He could get better. But in terms of who are the Raiders going to roll with next week, Josh McDaniels, if he rolls with Aidan O'Connell, I think it's going to keep giving this guy excuses. Oh, just wait till my rookie quarterback develops. He's getting it. And oh, well, he's just a rookie. And if the Raiders roll with Jimmy G, well, hey, it's your guy. It's your guy that you signed, paid a crap ton of money, who, by the way, has like $10 million guaranteed this year and about $5 million guaranteed next year. Well, you have your guy, Jimmy G, who's a captain. No excuses. This is who you brought to lead this football team. I want the Raiders to go with Jimmy G, not only because I do realistically think that it gives the Raiders a better shot to win, but because it gives the Raiders a better shot to win, I think McDaniels has less excuses. But when we're looking at Josh McDaniels' job security, do we really want to deal with this guy developing a rookie? Do we really want to tank this year and let Josh McDaniels draft a rookie quarterback next year and develop him? Josh McDaniels' Raiders are now 5-11 in one-score games over the past 2 seasons since Josh McDaniels took over, and that's 27th in the NFL in that span. That is really bad, bottom of the league. And keep in mind, last year Josh McDaniels broke the record and blown double-digit leads in a single season in NFL history. And at a certain point, man, time is money. How much longer are we going to waste on this guy? How much longer are we going to wait till he finds his guys? Maybe his guys only exist in his head. And honestly, if Josh McDaniels would have gone into the season saying, hey, we're trying to, work on getting to the next level, we're somewhat rebuilding, I would respect that. But the fact of the matter is, we got Devontae Adams, we got lots of playmakers, we got Josh Jacobs, who we gave a fat franchise tag. You signed Jimmy Garoppolo. It looks like you're reaching for the stars. And it set the expectations too high, and now the Raiders are 1-3, and it just gets tougher and tougher. By the way, next week on Monday Night Football, they're playing Devontae Adams' former team, the Green Bay Packers. Oh, I wonder how Devontae Adams will like that if the Raiders drop an L to the freaking Packers, the team that he left to go play with Derek Carr and the Raiders, when he said, no disrespect to Jordan Love, but, I want to do great things in my career.
And this isn't a shot at anybody, any other quarterbacks or, in Green Bay. I love Jordan Love, especially. He's a great guy, but, I got aspirations of doing really, really big things and being remembered. And I just, it just wasn't really a point in my career that I was willing to sacrifice, Aaron not being there, after a year or two. So
he sort of threw some low-key shade on Jordan Love, and now he's dealing with McDaniels, and I don't know if it's Aidan O'Connell or Jimmy Garoppolo. Who knows who's going to be the QB next week? Now he's dealing with these guys going to face the Packers. If the Packers beat Devontae Adams and the Raiders in Vegas on Monday Night Football, I think it's definitely going to piss the guy off. Who knows what happens next? Let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments below. We're going to be live for every Raiders game, doing play-by-play and reaction, including the Monday Night Football game this upcoming week against the Green Bay Packers. So make sure you check us out on this channel live. My name is WiFiWillie. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.